In the city of Ovara, we see the dark-haired woman in her home enjoying an evening meal with her son. Not of scraps from a feeding trough, but of fresh vegetables and even a small portion of meat. The fireplace is lit, wood is provided, and there is a warmth in the home. And there's even a smile across both of their faces, enjoying conversation. And this woman says, "I think things are going to be better for us now. Things seem to be going well." We now see into the council chamber in the Thalbrook Keep. Mulfray opens the doors, shedding light into this room, and the crowd in the stands is seen. He doesn't take much time before he begins speaking. "Scribe, begin recording. As of yesterday, a tracker was investigating a sighting of Sparhawk in Raven's Bluff. Upon arriving at the scene, he encountered an active Lehman's hut, and per protocol, he sended to his contact, and the response team began to scry. This is the recording of the events that transpired through the scry sensor. Take note. An image appears in front and above the council table. And through this image, you can see the perspective just above this tracker where the scry sensor was located. And this image recording is only several seconds long, but what you see is inside the sewers, this dwarf casts a spell, places his hand on the barrier of the Lehman's hut. It is dispelled, and you can see in the room Sparhawk. And a invisible force attacks this dwarf. More battle fighting takes place before the door is shut. And not long after, there is a gust of this purple and gold mist. It sweeps under the cracks, over the top of the door, and the sides, the creases, like a explosion happened in the room. Quickly, the Thalbrook soldiers enter the room, and all that is seen is a purple and gold cloud of mist that fills the room. You see the soldiers searching the room. The Magi is casting spells. And once they're certain that there is no one in the room, they begin to go underneath to access the deeper sewers. And then the recording ends, and Mulfray begins to speak. If you were taking notes, there's 2 items on this recording of great importance. 1, when the door opened, an invisible force was seen attacking this dwarf. But this force, this attacker, was not invisible. The eyewitness accounts from the soldiers, from the tracker, the general, and the Magi all say that they saw a red tiefling immediately behind the barrier attack this dwarf. This means that they have magical protection, warding from our scry sensor. The most likely cause of this is from an amulet of proof against detection, meaning that any scry attempt we make would render the wearer invisible, undetectable. It also means that the ring of tracking that our trackers possess is useless. This requires a change in tactic. Again, if you were paying attention, you would have noticed that when the door was closed, a cloud, purple and gold coloration, swept underneath the door, burst through the seams, and upon entering, the Magi confirmed that there were no invisible creatures. They were nowhere in the deeper sewers. They had disappeared, teleported. This, however, is not concerning. What is concerning is the markers of this mist that identify it specifically as timekeeper magic. There's a low murmur in the room. Yes, I know. That is concerning. But we do not know what is the cause of this. If this is a timekeeper, if this is Sparhawk and these other unidentified individuals using timekeeper magic. What we know is that timekeeper magic was used in a way we have not seen before. This too calls for a change of tactic. If a timekeeper is helping them, that poses a very large problem. If they are harnessing timekeeper magic in some way, that also poses a large problem. More manageable, but still a problem. I've decided that with this dire need and change of tactic, there are two roads we can go down. One, we go on the aggressive, upheave the very earth and foundation of Raven's Bluff, or any city, any settlement, village, desolate land, forest that they might find refuge in. Bring the cold hand of an Avaran winter to these lessers. In doing so, we would have to abandon political relation, which would be inviting war, which would mean, on one front, we are searching for Riven, and on the other, fighting a war. This would divide our attention, our efforts, our resources. Not to say that this is outside of our capability, but it would make us dull and divided and not of single mind and purpose. The other road we can go down is one of patience. There is a evident lack of knowledge and intel we have. If they are capable of this, or know someone capable of this, we need to know. This would mean pulling the bounties, giving them a false sense of security, allow them to romp and run the streets to whatever their whim and fancy. Let them feel free again. All the while, we watch and we learn everything and fill the large gaps in our knowledge of what these people are capable of, what they have, who they know, where they go. As the Council Master, that is the decision that I am making. We will not be mediocre. We will not be made fools of. We are Thalbrook. We are superior in every way that matters. And this hunt has gone on long enough. Unfruitful, There will be no more hunting parties or Royal Thalbrook blood spilt. On my watch, as the newly instated authority of this council, there was no love lost or tears shed when Jasper died. But I did respect him for his tactical wit. At every turn, Riven has been able to evade or brunt our assaults, taking down Jasper and the Steel Predator and the Enchanted Armor and losing a tracker. We have run out of excuses, esteemed council members. I will accept no more failures. Without blood, Intelligence officer. Pull the bounties. Let them walk freely. Inform all active agents in the field of a do not engage order. Whatever their capabilities, gather intel, focus on reconnaissance of Riven and his companions, and await additional orders. Hear me, Council. I want to know everything about them. What they're capable of. What they have. Who they know. I want to know how many times a day they shit. I want to know how many times a night they roll over in their sleep, every word they mutter. That is all. I want results. Hear me. I want results. Mulfray storms out of the room in a rush. You see Mulfray in a room. In his hand, there's a glass of fine whiskey. He chugs it back in full. Casts a spell. And begins to speak aloud. Hello, Riven. Congratulations and an early condolences. You've done something. That I've been waiting for. You've surprised me. And that is exciting. been a long time since I've been surprised. Tried to keep up. The bounties are lifted.